John, we're rocking and rolling. That's an absolute classic. Brilliant. Can I first say just thank you very much for doing this interview with us?
Oh, no problem. Glad to do it.
So, with such a important figure in the music business.
Oh, I wish.
I think so. I mean, I did a little bit of research on you, and wow, I mean, you guys were like massive. You're still quite big now, but you were massive back in the day, in Liverpool.
Yeah, second only to the Beatles at the time.
I mean, that's amazing. Second only to the Beatles.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, it must have been such heady, exciting days, yeah?
It was absolutely tremendous. I mean, to be involved in such a period of musical history was fantastic. And the sad thing about it, you're so young, you don't really take it all in. And, looking at it again, all the times we played with the Beatles, I wish I'd have got all their autographs. I'd have made a few bob.
Well, or they could have got yours, because, I mean, you're on the same par as them, really, aren't you?
Yeah,
I mean, I know the Beatles, there's only one Beatles, but, I mean, you were there back in the day with them as equals, really.
We were at the time, but the Beatles were so phenomenal songwriters, and no one could touch them at all. I mean, they've got to be the best group ever.
No, I mean, I think so as well. I mean, I'm not from that era, I'm 45, but, I mean, it's still that era that you when you were a young lad making all that beautiful music, it's still my favourite epoch, really.
Yeah, it's lucky enough, the 60s had such a large amount of 3-minute pop records that were all great. All the bands you can mention, you can go on from all the Liverpool bands to Newcastle bands, Birmingham bands, London bands. Yeah. There were so many of them churning out all this great 3-minute pop records.
There was. I mean, obviously, a thing that you all could be in common with, you all went off your heads, didn't you, with the American music?
Yeah, we did. Well, we were lucky, and Liverpool was lucky in a way that we all had members of the family that were in the Merchant Navy that were going over out of Liverpool on all the ships into New York and other ports in the States, and bringing all this great coloured music and country western music back with them.
Which you could actually listen to before it was really known by any other people in England.
Yeah, we were all doing all these songs that suddenly we found out that we were playing these songs, and then when we started doing all the live venues with all the other bands were playing all the same songs, but all entirely different ways of doing it.
Wow. I mean, my dad's the same generation as you guys, really, more or less. And when he was a kid in the mid-50s, he was he was only 11 or 12. He's a few years younger, a bit younger, a couple of years younger. But he just went mental for the big three. You know, your Little Richards, your Chuck Berrys, your Jerry Lee Lewis.
Well, that's me, really. I like the mid-50s, from 56 onwards. From Elvis, I was into the country and western before that.
Really?
Johnny Cash. My brother was bringing all this Johnny Cash, Eddie Arnold, and all this country music out of New York.
Right.
And not only that, he even brought guitars home. So
this is your brother?
Yeah, Frank.
Oh, no, Frank. So he was actually in the Merchant Navy or something?
Yeah, he was. My dad was in the Merchant Navy, and so was my brother. And funny enough, I was going in the Navy as well, because being a port of Liverpool, basically families were all seafarers, and I was about to go into. I went down all the road of training for the Blue Front Line, which is Alfred Holt. I did all the sea school and all that kind of stuff. And then when it come to go, people in the Navy will understand what I mean. I went coasting, which is you go around England first, and then you go deep sea.
Right.
But unfortunately, when it comes to go deep sea, you actually go to another medical. And I've failed the medical with the lazy eye. So it was really weird, the change in my life.
Wow, and then, because of that, you got into the music and everything?
Yeah, I did. I got the guitar out, and I thought, I had time to spare, and I started learning mainly the country first, and then Hank Williams, and then onto your rock and rollers like Chuck, and Buddy Holly is a great influence.
Buddy Holly, yeah. And you can see that in your music, that really comes through. And like most of the great bands from that era, from Britain, The Who, a lot of these great bands, you were into Skiffle as well. You started on Skiffle, really.
We did. Street Corner Skiffle it was. I mean, as I say, lots of families had members bringing guitars in from the States, and mostly young lads in our road, St John's Road, Kirkdale, Liverpool. About 6 or 7 of us had guitars, and we used to stand on the corner. In fact, opposite our house was a shop which had an overhanging front step where you could actually stand in the step out of the rain, and we used to stand there and play guitars and sing Take Somebody Man and all that kind of stuff. And Lonnie Donegan sort of gave us that instant sort of, hang on, we can play that, you know. So we started playing all Donegan stuff, and then the rock and roll came out, and that was it.
But would I be right in thinking, John, Skiffle is primarily, it's an English thing, isn't it, or a British thing? It wasn't really copied from the States.
It's an English thing, basic from original country music. I mean, it was basically what you could afford. It was a washboard, and you had thimbles on your fingers, and then you had acoustic guitars. And in Liverpool, there was a big a tea company. I can't remember what it was called. In fact, I only lived down a corner from it. And you used to bring in the tea in with all these big boxes with like silver foil paper wrapping the tea in. And we used to get the boxes, put a broom handle in them, put a string on them, and that was your bass.
Wow. That reminds me a bit of flamenco. I love flamenco music. I lived in Spain for a while. And they use a box for the percussion. It's called a caja. And basically that just comes from Peru from like epochs ago when they used to get the fruit and veg in these wooden boxes.
Well, that's it.
And you just bang that. And Paco de Lucia, it's quite a recent thing in flamenco. He was there with his friend in Peru. And they've seen these boxes, and they've seen the Peruvian guys playing on them, and he said, that'd sound great with my guitar, and there you go, another genre's formed.
Yeah, well, it's what you can afford at the time, and we couldn't afford anything, a proper bass. Yeah. And, it's what you can get to your hand and do the best with them, just to make music, and it's a similar thing.
I mean, I remember reading the autobiography of Pete Townsend recently. It was really interesting, and he was going on about when he was in his Skiffle band. That's how he got it all started, really. So there's comparisons
we all
there.
Did.
You all did, didn't you?
Yeah, it was really weird. I mean, unknown to us all. It was all happening all in all the cities. It was only until the Beatles broke into the music world. Brian Epstein went down to London, and he persevered, and he banged on the doors of all these record companies who thought he'd be useless. Decca turned them down. A lot of other companies turned them down. And, of course, good old George Martin has just passed away.
He has just passed away, yeah.
Yeah, I thought, well, hang on, they've got something which was the greatest thing for us, because without the Beatles, we'd never have made it.
No. But, I mean, you guys, you knew George Martin, didn't you? You recorded in Abbey Studios.
Yeah, we did. Not with George, but we did stuff in Abbey Road. And, in fact, we did some about 10 years ago in Abbey Road. And great studio. But George was like the fifth Beatle. Yeah. And he had the musical knowledge and the technique. And it was trained. Well, the likes of all our bands, none of us read music. No. We weren't trained. We just flew by the seat of our trousers, really, and just did what we thought was right.
I love that quote about him that came out the other day. It said, what kind of music do you like, George? And he just said, there's only two kinds of music, good music and bad music.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we all loved, I mean, the amount of stuff that we loved in the 50s and 60s was right across the board. Yeah. I mean, I loved Doris Day and Frankie Lane and all that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah. So, and then go into your country and western, and then your rock and roll period with Chuck. It's like, it's great. It's fill your mind full of that stuff. It's really good. I keep telling our grandkids, you listen to some of this stuff. It's good.
Oh yeah, I mean, music is music. All kinds of genres. If it's done good, it's fantastic. No matter what it is, classical, country, blues, rap, flamenco, anything.
Yeah, but the strange thing about the '60s music, most of these guitar-orientated bands now basically are all looking back to the '60s and picking bits and pieces from the '60s, like fashion. It always looks back on the '60s.
I mean, I do think, John, I mean, I was born in 1970, just, a day, a year after the 60s, but I'm fine with when I was born and all that, and I'm happy with my age and everything, but I mean, musically, I mean, the stuff that was going on, I mean, you certainly seem to be there at the right time, you guys.
Yeah, we were very lucky. The only thing we didn't have in place was basically we didn't have the educations regarding finances and the legal side of things.
I mean, yeah, it seemed like everybody was ripped off in them days.
We totally were. I mean, when you say rip off, it's done in a very, very legal way. I mean, it still goes on today. It's buying and selling, they call it. And also when you sign a contract, you sign a record contract fairly blind, because some of the wording is absolutely, you couldn't understand it.
Astonishing.
It's a different language. One of the words which we didn't understand, we thought Chris, our drummer, would understand it because he was a grammar school boy, was in perpetuity. And we thought, what the bloody hell is that?
Doesn't that just mean perpetual or something?
Yeah, it just means forever.
Yeah. I mean, didn't you guys have like a lawyer with you at the time when you were signing?
Nobody had lawyers.
That didn't happen? Wow.
No, it wasn't until the late 60s, us, Stones, Beatles, started making money, because we started clicking into what was going on behind the scenes. I mean, we did a tour of the States. Well, our first tour was in 64, I think it was, 65. and we did this huge tour around the States, and when we come to do all our sort of finances at the end of it, I think we ended up about 30 quid each.
My God.
Because we were paying all our exes and flights and hotels, but nowadays it's all paid for.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the dumb thing. You were just there under the control of the guy who was pulling the strings.
Yeah, well, basically they looked at you as a short-term project, a generation changeover, if you know what I mean. A lot of the pop stars in those days only lasted for a year or so, and then a generation moves on, and another generation moves in with their type of music. Yeah. So you're just left by the wayside. But fortunately, the songs from the 60s have stood the test of time, and that's how we've lasted.
Well, they did. I mean, you guys are just like the Rolling Stones. I remember seeing an interview with Mick Jagger, and this was like back in the day, about 1964, 65, and he said, well, I think if we get another year out of it, we'll be doing all right.
we still say the same thing.
Well, exactly. I mean, I compare you to the Stones in the sense that, I mean, you guys are still... Well, no, because you guys... I would compare you guys more to the likes of, like, Bob Dylan, the touring schedule you have. You never seem to stop. I've just been looking at it. It's unbelievable.
Well, we are a touring band. We always have been, you know. We've done the albums in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. But we're basically a touring band. I mean, we've had changes down the years because a couple of lads have passed on. And these things happen. But overall, we enjoy what we're doing. And thank heavens, our health's good.
Well, I was just thinking that. I mean, you must be healthy to be able to do that. I mean, at any age to do that.
Well, hopefully I'm playing five-a-side tonight.
Wow, wicked. I mean, I've just been looking at your tour thing this year. You're just off the back of a tour from Australia, aren't you?
Yeah, we just did 27 dates in Oz, all theatres, and it was the best one we've ever done, would you believe?
Really fantastic.
Yeah, we were averaging 900 people per night.
Wow, brilliant.
Because there's a big influx of Brits there, and also people from the European market. So basically, the market, because we had hits in like Scandinavia and Germany, people who emigrated to Australia come to our shows.
Fantastic. So you've got a big following out
there. Yeah, we certainly are. We're back down there again in November.
I've seen it. And until then, you're all over Britain.
I know. And Israel.
And Israel as well.
So yeah, Israel, and we're doing a cruise with Cliff.
And it's not just like a couple of days a month. You guys are doing like most of the days in all of the months. You're like 20 days a month kind of thing on average.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's once you get into the groove, it's fine. Yeah. And as long as you all get on, then that's fine. Again, it's fun. But once it gets, we've been through periods of sort of friction, which we all get in bands. And but luckily we've got like 4 lads now play on stage, and we have a laugh. We entertain as best we can. We don't take it too serious. We take the mick out of each other, and we play the songs that people request, and we just entertain. We just don't take it too sort of get too worried about it, you know. If you get a noisy amplifier or whatever, ignore it, just give it a kick and carry on.
But you must still love what you're doing, or surely you wouldn't be doing it. You love it, it's in your blood.
It is, it's what we do.
It's what
Let's be honest, you know. We've been, the 3 of us have been together for over 30 years now. Frank and I have been together over 50 years.
Yeah, so. He joined in about 64, didn't he? Just a couple of years.
Frank, he took Tony's place because Tony went solo.
Yeah.
And Tony, unfortunately, has passed on. Good lad, Tony.
Oh, but you've been going since about 1957, haven't you? With the Skiffle band and everything.
From the Skiffle days, I started it in the Skiffle days, and a mate of mine had just come out of the army.
Wow.
He went with the last of the call-up. Tony West, he came out of the army, and unknown to me, he was playing guitar, and then he was one of the first lads in our Skiffle group, and then unfortunately he went off to open a car showroom in Liverpool. Nutty Ash.
Nutty Ash? That's where Ken Dodd's from, I think, isn't it?
That's right. In fact, Ken Dodd just around the corner. Tony West opened the Fiesta Centre in Nutty Ash, and Doddy lived around the corner.
Yeah, you must have met Ken Dodd.
Oh, loads of times. Yeah.
He's a scream. I love him. He's an absolute scream, isn't he?
Just don't go to all of his shows. I'd take a packed lunch.
Really?
Yeah, he goes on forever, doesn't he?
He does go
in the end, your jaws are raking.
But I mean, they broke the mould, didn't they, when they made him?
Yeah. And I just hope he keeps going. I went to a charity to do a couple of months back, and he was great. He's just funny.
Yeah, he's great, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of the last to dying breed.
Well, I don't think they make them like that anymore. I mean, I was just thinking, you guys, you know, you're like old school back when all the show business was a lot more kind of like, you know, you're just almost like thrown into the room and like of show businesses and get on with it.
Yeah.
These days, people seem to be a little bit more, I don't know, bubble wrap, protected. I mean, it's a different society, isn't it?
Yeah, well, not these kids that come out on the road now and basically they're trained. They go to all these training schools, these showbiz schools, and all these girl bands and stuff. They're all coming out.
I mean, it's not the same, is it? You guys, like the Beatles and everything, you learnt your craft day in, day out, playing the clubs, slogging it, really.
Well, the North East was famous for clubs.
Yeah, exactly.
And Stockton Fiesta, Middlesbrough Excel Bowl. I mean, I could name loads of them.
My mum used to go to the Fiesta all the time when she was a young lass.
The Fiesta was great.
Did you guys play there, I suppose?
I think we did the most appearances for Fiesta, would you believe?
Wow, yeah, the Fiesta. Wow, yeah, it was a great venue. Did you play the Globe as well? I think
we did. Yeah, the Globe Theatre. We did one of our tours there with Bobby V, and we did. Basically Northeast. There's so many venues around there, live venues.
It was always a great club scene.
Oh, it was a great club scene. Yeah, live music was superb.
It's that wine. I wish they could bring that back. The actual Globe Theatre. It's trying to get being put back on, but it's something kinds of. They did some rebuilding work on it, and they've got all the advertisements of all the great bands. The Globe is coming back, but it seems to have been there for the last 4 years in a kind of dead state.
Well, there's quite a few theatres around the country we've done recently that are being refurbished due to lottery money.
Yeah, it seems to be the lottery money, but it seems to have stalled. I hope they get it back because, I mean, I know Newcastle's got a good venue, but we're in Teesside and we don't really have a great venue for all the top acts, you know.
Yeah, well, that Teesside, we used to play Flower Side in Birmingham.
Wow.
When we did the Stockton Fiesta, we used to play Flower Side with the Fortunes and a few other bands.
And I was just thinking, I mean, you know Billingham, it's crazy. You, the founding man of the Searchers, and you used to play five-a-side in Billingham.
Yeah.
But I mean, I suppose you know so many places, don't you, with your travelling?
We do, yeah. I mean, it's as I say, it's in our blood.
I mean, you've been all around the world, haven't you?
Yeah, as I say, we're off to Israel soon, and we've got a cruise with Cliff.
Did you back in the day when it was all like a massive, you know, like an atom bomb, the big massive explosion of all you guys? Did you go to America back in the day when you were young?
We used to go every other year to America.
Every other year, and this is back in the like mid 60s.
Yeah, we did the Ed Sullivan Show just after
you did
the
Beatles.
Beatles.
Ed Sullivan Show. Wow.
So and we did all that, and but in the end, you just take it for granted and just carry on. It's a job.
I suppose you just get used to it. I mean, my next question was I mean. All the great places you've been, all the great people you've met, especially like musical people. I mean, you must have met so many of the greats.
Everybody.
Yeah, met everybody. Wow.
Yeah, the only one I regret missing was Buddy Holly.
Because he passed away, I think, in 59.
Yeah, too early, too quick, and he's gone on and missed. I mean, he did the Empire Liverpool.
Right.
The Philharmonic Hall Liverpool
on
20th of March, 1958.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I was working late.
Right.
But I got all the reports about him, and I really felt sad when I missed that.
Well, you can see on your guitar style. I was watching you last night, and you do. There's a lot of influence from Buddy Holly there. You can tell.
Oh yeah, Buddy and the Everleys.
Buddy and the Everleys. I mean, they were great influences on so many people, weren't they?
Oh well, all that stuff that was coming out. It was actually Dream World, wasn't it? I mean, all the stuff that was coming out. You know, along with Elvis, of course. I mean, I'm funny enough. People say Elvis. I used to listen to Scotty Moore.
Scotty Moore, his guitar player, yeah.
Yeah, and then he also had Gene Vincent. You had Cliff Gallup on guitar. Wow. All these people were like so influenced to it. Us, Hollies, Beatles, Jerry, all the bands that come out.
So you've met them all, John, and as you said, it's just that, you know, you get used to it. Yeah, they're just like anybody else. They're just like you, troubadours, musicians.
Yeah, it's just what they do.
It's just what they do.
Yeah, we've done like at Star Club Hamburg, we did Fats Domino, Jerry Lee, Gene Vincent, the Everleys, Joey D and the Starlights. There's all these people who played the Star Club Hamburg.
Yeah, the Beatles as well, they were there.
The Beatles, we had placed the Beatles a few times because we were just swapping over. They were going back to Liverpool and we were coming to Hamburg.
I wonder if it's still like that now. Does it still
exist? No, it's
not.
It closed down after a few years and basically they turned it into a sex club.
But it was always like that anyway, wasn't it? Like Red Light District.
Yeah, it was in St. Pauli, which was the Reeperbahn, the Ghostly Freiheit. Yeah. And basically it was a red light area until then it sort of disappeared because of the AIDS problem.
And at that, oh God, yeah.
Yeah,
and at that
killed
time,
it.
Hamburg in the like early 60s, I suppose, I mean, there was nothing to compare to that. I mean, even London probably couldn't compare.
No.
The late nights, all night drinking dens and, you know, all of that.
No, basically the Hamburg was basically a seaport like Liverpool, and we had the Cavern and the Iron Door. Well, they had the Star Club Hamburg. Wow. So they're very, very close together, and all the teenagers that were all these live venues, they were inundated. They could go anywhere they like. They could go like different clubs, like 3 or 4 clubs a night. So and we used to do 3 or 4 gigs sometimes.
I mean, you must have been quite amazed when you first went out of there. For a few young lads from Liverpool, all to be, thrown into the limelight, the craziness of Hamburg. You must have been, wow, what is this?
Yeah, it is. I mean, the real story's never been told, really.
No,
because
I suppose you can't.
Exactly. What's the saying? What goes on the road stays on the road.
And like you're young as well, you're kids, you're like teenagers.
Oh, we'd be so naive. It was a joke.
I'll tell you something, John. All this, it just seems like so magical. I tell you,
it was.
Magical times.
When you're playing with with great musos, and
exactly.
you don't think much of it. You just play, and the crowds were great. It was just a superb venue, the Star Club.
But I mean, you're a great musician and everything, and it's not just the times in the early 60s. You've made it your life. You've carried on, and like up to now in the present and the future, that's what you're doing. You're a working band, you're a touring band, a real band that is, and you're just there to play for the people.
Yeah, everything is live. We don't do any sort of this mime and stuff.
Yeah,
everything's
fantastic.
played live, and it could be.
So it should be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but against this playing along to tapes and stuff, which
I can't stand it.
happens quite a lot, which is terrible. We play live, and it's as you feel, and it's a human factor. You play good some nights you have a bit of a dodgy night. So, and that's the point of live music. You don't know what you're going to get.
You don't know what. That's the excitement of, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the thrill.
exactly. A couple of lads could feel a bit down or
Yeah.
hungover or whatever. So you never know.
Yeah. I mean, do you still live in Liverpool now then?
Yeah,
where are you based?
I'm in Liverpool. Yeah, I've never left.
Brilliant. Born and bred, eh?
Yep. So I just thought, I went to London for a few months. We had a flat in London.
Only for a few months?
Yeah, well, that's well, I thought, we got a flat, all of us, and I didn't like it. It was just, I didn't like the scene, what was going on, what people were taking. I just thought, no, this is not for me.
Not for you. And anyway, Liverpool's a great place.
Oh, Liverpool's great now. You've got Liverpool 1, the shopping area is very good.
Yeah.
The waterfront's great now, and it's really coming on a really fine time now.
Yeah, it changed a lot, didn't it, after it became wasn't it the European capital of culture or something?
It did. I mean, they poured loads of money in it, and the waterfront's great. The shopping area is good now. They're just doing a few other areas on the outskirts of the town, so
nice.
it's really doing well now.
Nice. Talking about our area, Sunny Teesside, you guys are playing, I think, on the 7th of April in Darlington Civic Theatre.
Yeah, we've done that a few times. It's a good gig.
Nice little venue, eh?
Yeah, it's great.
And hopefully in the future, when we get this Globe thing sorted, you'll be coming back there.
Be nice to open it.
Because the Fiesta's now a church. I mean, it would be nice to play in the church of the Fiesta. But
it's a church.
It's a church. It's called the Destiny Centre. Yeah, some kind of church. But it's good in a way because a lot of people seem to use it. Before that, it was a bit of a dive. It's been one thing or another.
Yeah,
it wasn't really working.
Disco, wasn't it, at one point?
Yeah. But the golden days was when you boys were there.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
the Fiesta. I mean, my mum talks about it fondly.
Ah.
My mum's 40... what am I talking about? She's 67. So, yeah.
She would have seen the Beach Boys and Kenny Rogers and Ken Dodds and Tom Jones and God, everybody on there.
Fantastic. Hey, John, I'm going to love you and leave you.
Take care.
John, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for ringing on the dot.
And if I can make it on the 7th of April, I'll be down there, mate.
You say hello.
At the Civic Theatre, Darlington.
Yeah. Okay, cheers.
John, good luck for the future, and thank you so much again from everybody from Radio Ignition. You've been great.
Thanks a lot.
All the best, mate.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Cheers.